It's 6 o'clock, January 26th. Welcome to the City of Oak Harbor's Planning Commission. I have a statement. Due to COVID-19, there will be no physical meeting location per Washington Proclamation 2028. Meeting will be viewed via YouTube or Channel 10. To listen to the live meeting, please call 623-404-9000. Meeting ID number is 149-887-6560. To leave a public comment that will be made part of the meeting record, please call and leave a message at 360-279-4512. First item of business will be a roll call. I'm the vice chair. I'm Bruce Freeman. We have Mr. Bates, Southard, I'm sorry if I messed that up. Commissioner Wassender is absent, Commissioner Phillips and Marshall, and Malcolm. First item of business is December 8th, 2002 special meeting that we had. I need approval of minutes. I need a first and a second.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the December 8, 2020 special meeting minutes as presented.
We have a motion from Commissioner Bates. I need a second.
I'll
I have a second. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you all. Public comment section. I've been advised that there are no public comments regarding tonight's meeting agenda items. So we'll move on to our first item of business. And it's a public hearing. The 2021 Comprehensive Plan docket. It's a public hearing. The Planning Commission will hold a public hearing on the 2021 Comprehensive Plan amendments. The Housing Action Plan and joint planning areas are already on the docket and carried over from 2020. The 2021 dockets will consider adding a plan to active transportation in Oak Harbor to explore options on using existing streets to create a network of bike and pedestrian pathways and connection. Item number 1, or A. That's Mr. Comack.
Yes. Good evening, Chairman, members of the Commission. Hope you can hear me. So I have a really short presentation on the 2021 docket. The Commission already saw some of this information at the December 8th meeting. We just discussed that in a meeting format. This is a public hearing. So at the end of my presentation, we'd ask that the Planning Commission hold a hearing, close the hearing, and then make a recommendation to the City Council. I'm going to share my screen real quick for a short 4-slide presentation. So this is the 2021 Comprehensive Plan Amendment. This is an amendment process that we have because the state limits amendments to the comprehensive plan only once a year. And so we have a process that we initiate every year in October, make a call for projects, and then move a proposed docket till it gets approved by the City Council in March. And then we work on these amendments all year and try to bring as many amendments that we complete in a given year at the end in December for adoption. So the items that we have moving forward, as described in the agenda item, is the housing element and the housing action plan. This, if the Commission remembers, is some grant dollars that we got from the Department of Commerce. And so this is a process that's already in progress. Senior planner Dennis Lefevre is heading that project and managing the consultants that are helping the city put this action plan together. And so we're hoping to make some good strides in 2021 with hopefully some recommendations and some considerations for adoption at the end of the year. Um, Part of the housing um, action plan and looking at housing capacity will hopefully give us information regarding any boundary changes or capacity changes that we need to tackle. And so that information will be helpful going to the county and pursuing any JPA and UGA boundary changes or discussions related to that. So we'll be collecting data for that as well in 2021. And we also have some grant money from the Regional Transportation Planning Organization in Iron County to do an active transportation plan. And this is basically a project to look at how to promote active transportation within Oak Harbor using existing streets and right-of-ways, sidewalks, connections. It can look into safety projects. It can look at restriping, bike lanes, sharrows. All of that could be explored through this active transportation plan. So we will initiate that project in 2021, and I expect that project to probably flow into 2022 because there'll be data gathering and public outreach and evaluation of several concepts and so on. So I see it going into 2022, but we will get that initiated this year. And then every year we look at the capital improvement plan. This is a living, breathing document. It's changed and tweaked every year a little bit. So we'll look at it again this year. It's a 6-year revolving plan. So 1 year gets dropped off and 1 year gets added. And so we have a lot of projects that would like to be on the capital improvement plan. For example, improvements around the Harbor Heights, the new park that the city is planning. We'll be looking at that document and seeing if there's any room to add projects or consider projects. So we'll be looking at that in 2021 as well. So how the docket moves forward, I've highlighted here we are at the Planning Commission with the public hearing. We will discuss the docket with the City Council at their workshop in February. And then we will put it on their regular meeting docket for adoption in March. And then we'll start the work on the comprehensive plan. And the Planning Commission, as you are aware, have regular discussions on the comprehensive plan all year long. We take public input that way, have public discussions that way. So these are recorded and people can view them. And then at the end of the year, we go through the hearings and the adoption process. So the packet that is provided to Planning Commission addresses all the items that are moving forward and with the criteria that's established. So we'd like the Planning Commission to conduct a public hearing and make a recommendation to the City Council. And I'm happy to answer any questions, or if you have any comments, thoughts, happy to hear them at this time. And I'll switch it back to the chair for the public hearing or for commission comments.
Thank you. I'll go put it back to the commissioners for comments. Does anybody have any comments regarding these dockets that are on this item tonight? Seeing none, okay. This public hearing's closed, so I need a motion and a second to move this forward. Mr. Bates makes the motion.
CAC, we've watched this thing come together over, the last year and a half, 2 years, whatever, so I feel very comfortable in it. Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend that the City Council adopt the 2021 Comprehensive Plan Amendment docket items as presented.
Mr. Bates has made a motion to approve. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Mr. Marshall has made a second. Okay, all in favor say aye, or raise your right hand. Motion passes. It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the Shoreline Master Program. This is a public meeting. Staff will present the first draft of the Shoreline Master Program periodic review proposed amendments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Tonight, the Shoreline Master Program periodic review. Tonight, the Shoreline Master Program periodic review draft is ready to initiate for your review. No action tonight is required. So the documents have been placed on our webpage, and that's out there for public review, and it's under the Development Services page. So it's not technically, if you go to Planning Commission, you need to go over to where it says Development Services, and then under the Development Services tab, it's under its own menu tab, so go look for that over there, and that's where all the background information is located. So there's plenty of time for the Planning Commission to review all that material. And so tonight is just basically a rundown of what's coming up. So in conformance with the statutory requirements under the WAC 173-26-0903B, all the required areas have been addressed and supporting documents have been prepared. And so Dennis Lefevre is the senior planner working on this. He could not be here tonight, so he has put all this information out there on the web for you, and plenty of time for you to take a look at it. So what he has done is he's prepared your packets, and he's given us some guidelines to take a look at. The first thing is the draft report with the proposed revisions will be in red, and in red will be strike through, which means deletion, and underline will be in red also, which means addition. Each proposed revision is followed by a number, which will be in yellow, and that refers to the supporting documents which describe in more detail the reason for the amendment. The supporting document will be labeled as 1, and that will be your minor errors and corrections. So as you go down through all the documents, you'll be able to find your minor errors and corrections labeled as 1. Your supporting document 2 will be the Department of Ecology checklist, and also your Department of Ecology rule changes and the Shoreline Management Act amendments. So if you're looking for background checklists and rule changes and shoreline management amendments, all the code amendments, that'll all be in that particular section. The supporting document 3 is your local plan and your development regulation consistency review. Sometimes that's called a gap analysis, which shows the difference between what the local plan and the development regulations are and where it's consistent and where it's not consistent with the state law. And then you'll go down to supporting document 4, and it'll show your proposed amendments to reflect the changing local circumstances. It'll show where new information is as well as the improved data. So all that information will be there for you in nicely laid out sections, and you'll be able to take your time and go through all that information. I'm sure that Dennis has gone through this very strategically, and you'll see that there's a a Gantt chart that he's put together in all this information that gives us plenty of time to look at this. The actual approval date, I think, is in June of 2021, so there's plenty of time for the Planning Commission and the City Council to go through all this information. The public hearing will be scheduled for you at the February Planning Commission meeting to receive input from the public. And then the Planning Commission questions and discussion will take place, and then you'll go from there. There'll be no recommendation necessary at that time. From there, the approval process will actually occur a little later. So that basically is your outline for your process. And if you have questions on the process or questions in detail on the shoreline plan itself, I'd recommend that you call Dennis at the office at any time. He's out of the office now for a couple weeks, but he's working from home, so his phone will forward to his phone at home. So you'll be able to reach him directly, and I'm sure he'd be able to entertain any direct questions you may have. So that concludes staff's presentation.
With that, that's the end of the planning commission meeting for tonight. I would like to, that's the end of the public hearing for tonight, the planning commission meeting for tonight. Our next meeting is scheduled for
Comments? You want any planning commissioner comments?
Yep. So with that, I would like to close this public hearing now and ask staff to stay, or the commissioners to stay on for a general meeting between us